Welcome to Making the Blackboard Grade Center work for you. I am Carrie Whitehead, an instructional developer in e-learning. I've been at CPCC for 6 years and with e-learning for a little over 3 of those. I'm excited to share some tips and tricks with you today. By the end of this workshop, you will create a plan to organize assessments for your course, complete a pre-flight checklist to be sure your Grade Center is ready to go, and identify resources that provide additional help with Blackboard. Does your Blackboard Grade Setter calculate final grades as expected? How can you tell for sure? Is this going to take a lot of time? I'm from the humanities. I don't understand the math. Start with your syllabus. According to CPCC's Classroom Administration Handbook, your syllabus is the most important document in your class. It is the contract between you and your students about the requirements and objectives of the course. In addition, your syllabus provides a guiding reference, a resource to which students and instructional staff can refer for logistical information such as the schedule for the course and office hours, as well as rationale for the pedagogy and course content. What does the grading information in your syllabus look like? Do you tell students that their grade is based on total points, or do you have categories and percentages? For total points, Blackboard adds all points earned and divides it by all points possible. This means that an activity worth 50 points is weighing more heavily than one worth 10 points. In a weighted total scenario, all points earned in a category are added up and divided by all points available for that category. It then multiplies by the percentage assigned to that category. Each of these category calculations are added up to determine the weighted total. Within each category, you have the choice to weight every activity equally or proportionally. Proportionally would calculate activities with higher point values with more weight than those with lower point values. There is a course planning worksheet available at the URL listed here. Go ahead and download it so that you can use it to follow along. You should know now whether you need a total points column or a weighted total column, so you can go ahead and circle the one that fits your syllabus on the worksheet. Here's an example list of assessments or graded activities. Take some time to fill out your planning worksheet. The next thing we will cover is the pre-flight checklist. You can download it now from the URL listed on this slide. You should then open up a course in Blackboard so that you can follow along with the rest of the presentation. First, you need to navigate to your Grade Center by going to the Control Panel, clicking on Grade Center, and then Full Grade Center. Once you have gotten to the Grade Center, click on the Manage button and choose Column Organization. The first thing on our pre-flight checklist is a verification that all graded activities have a column in the Grade Center and that there are no duplicate or unwanted columns. Going to Manage Column Organization gives you a full picture of what is in your course. Go through the list to see that everything is there. If not, make a note on your planning worksheet of what needs to be added. Try it out. Take a few minutes to look at the activities in your course. The next thing to check under Manage Column Organization is the points possible assigned to each assessment. Do these match your plan? If you are using a total points system, this is extremely important as the points possible determines the weight of each activity compared to others in the course. Make a note on your planning worksheet of any columns that do not have the correct points assigned. To change the points, you can go back to the activity under Coursework and edit it, or you can edit the column information from the full Grade Center. Be careful, if you use rubrics, the points are probably coming from the rubric, so it may need to be edited. If the activity is a test, you may need to edit the points per question on the test itself. Try it out. Take a few minutes to review the points possible in your course and make notes of anything that needs to be changed. Reward yourself with another all-clear checkmark if you can. The easiest way to see how activities have been assigned to categories is under Manage Column Organization. By default, all Blackboard activities are categorized based on the tool used. For example, if you are having the students submit a paper through Blackboard using the assignment tool, it will be categorized as an assignment. To change the categorization of an activity, click on the checkbox to select the column. Then scroll to the bottom of the Manage Column Organization screen and find the Change Category To button. Click on it to see your list of categories and select the correct one. Adding, deleting, and renaming categories happens under Manage Categories. You cannot edit or delete the built-in categories, but you can make as many of your own as needed. Watch out for duplicate categories. They lead to confusion and can mess up calculations. Take a moment to look at your categories. Make a note of any changes you need to make or check this item off as all clear. Another thing that you can do for Manage Column Organization is rearrange columns. For example, when new columns are added, they are placed at the end of the list and you may need to move them to a better location. Keep in mind your students will see the activities in the same order that you have them arranged here. Here's how to arrange columns. From within the Manage Column Organization screen, simply move your mouse over the four-way arrow in front of the name of the activity you want to move. Then click and drag it to the desired location. Right here, I'm going to move this Test 1 up to the beginning after CPCC EVA. Alternatively, use the double-headed arrows in the top right corner. Click, choose the name of the activity you want to move, use the arrows to move it up or down the list, and click Apply. The external grade is the one identified by the green check mark. There must always be a column set as external grade, and you can have only one column set. When and if CPCC ever integrates the Blackboard Grade Center with other tools like Web Advisor, then this designation will tell all systems involved which column to use. To change the external grade, go to the desired column and choose Set as External Grade from the contextual menu. To delete duplicate columns, exit the column organization screen, go to the top of the column, and choose Delete Column from the contextual menu. If Delete Column is not an option, then the column is linked to a Blackboard tool, such as an assignment, test, or discussion forum. You must delete the assessment to remove the column. Also, you cannot delete the column that is currently set as external grade. Take a moment to look at your column order and your current external grade. Make changes or notes of needed changes. Manage Column Organization is also useful for seeing which columns have been hidden from instructors in the Grade Center. It does not clearly identify which columns are hidden from students. Columns that are hidden from instructors are in italics, grayed out, and say hidden. To show a hidden column, click in the box in front of the column name. Then scroll down to find the Show Hide button and choose to show selected columns. A pink or salmon-colored slash in front of a column's name indicates that it is currently hidden from students. You can toggle the Hide from Students option on and off from the contextual menu for that column. If you wish to hide a column completely from all users, you must hide it from students before hiding it from the instructor view. The Hide from Instructor View command is also found in the column's contextual menu. Choosing Edit Column Information from your Total or Weighted Total column's contextual menu allows you to check the calculations. The primary display determines how the grade is shown to both students and instructors. You can show a score, also known as points, percentage, letter, text, or complete incomplete. Please note that you must enter the grade based on the setting. So if score is selected, do not enter the percent correct, enter the actual points earned. The secondary display is only for you, the instructor. Students never see this. This option is a way to see the grade in a second format. For the course total, you may want to show the students the percentage, but you may also want to see the corresponding letter to make entering grades in Web Advisor easier. Include in Total allows you to select which columns are part of this specific total columns calculations. If this is set incorrectly, your total will not calculate as expected. The default is all grade columns. This would include every column in your grade center, including hidden columns. If you want to be more selective, choose Select Columns and Categories instead, and then just pick the columns and/or categories that you need. Calculate as running total is an important setting to check. If set to yes, that any blank cells in your grade center are excluded from the calculation. This means that if the assessment has not been given to students yet or hasn't been graded, then it is not bringing down the total. On the flip side, it also means that you must manually enter a grade of 0 for a student who missed an assignment before it will calculate as a 0 and lower their total. When running total is set to no, all blank or null cells are calculated as zeros. This may confuse students, as the total will be quite low early in the semester. If you are displaying a score, this may be okay. But if you are displaying a percentage, or if you are using weighted totals, make sure to explain to your students what is happening. Since selecting no calculates blanks as zeros, it does eliminate the need to manually enter those grades. Some instructors will set their running total to yes for the semester, but switch it to no after the last activity is graded, instead of entering zeros manually. When checking your weighted total column, you will also look at the primary and secondary displays and the running total option. What makes a weighted total different from a total is that you must select categories and/or columns to include in the calculation and set weights to those selections. Select columns and/or categories from the list provided, then click on the right arrow icon to move them over. In most cases, it is better to put your activities into categories and add those to the calculation. However, if there's only one activity in a category, such as the final exam, then it's easier to just add the column than to create a category for just one item. When you are done selecting categories and columns, you should assign weights to them. If you have 10 quizzes in your course, and they are worth 15% of the student's final grade, then you can put them all into a category, add that category here, and assign it a weight of 15%. If you choose not to create a category, then you would have to add each of these 10 columns and figure out the math to know that each column is worth 1.5% of the total grade. Then, if you decide to add an 11th quiz for any reason, you would have to remember to come add it to the weighted total and recalculate the weight for each quiz. What a pain! With the category already set up and added to the weighted total with its 15% weight, adding an 11th quiz is as easy as creating it and adding it to your quiz category. Blackboard does the rest of the math for you. By default, all categories are set to weight columns equally. This means that it does not matter whether one activity was worth 100 points and another was worth only 20. They both have the same weight within the category. I like this for tests given in Blackboard because I do not have to worry about trying to make a test worth 100 points. It is what it is. However, there are times when you want the point values to matter. Maybe you teach English and you have a category for your essays. Students improve over the semester, or at least we want them to, so the first essay may be out of 50 points, the second out of 75, and the last one out of 100. In order to make each essay count based on its points, choose to weight them proportionally. This option is often the cause of calculations not matching an instructor's expectations. Once you complete your pre-flight checklist, you are ready to take your grade center on a test flight. Use the student preview mode to view students' My Grades page. Go ahead and take your course on a quick test flight now. Check your total or weighted total, making notes of possible issues. Then, look at it all from student preview mode. Visit www.cpcc.edu/e-learning-community for on-demand tutorials, answers to frequently asked questions, FAQs, and to download a printable list of additional Blackboard resources for faculty. Thank you for your time. If you have additional questions about the Blackboard Grade Center, please email helpdesk@cpcc.edu or call the help desk at 704-330-5000.